This album by the Velvet Underground has been like watching, or I'd say listening to a cool indie movie, something like Taxi Driver, that shows you sort of the underbelly of New York City, of society, where I think a lot of albums and music tend to look at the positive side of life, to cheer people up, to make people feel happy. This album is designed to almost disturb you and make you see a side of life, or maybe a type of person that you don't normally see sort of advertised in art. And that's been one of the most interesting things about this album. It's so different. It's not trying to be mainstream. It's trying to be something completely different. It's itself. It's speaking for a sort of undercurrent of people. So it's been an awesome experience. This is another one of their tracks. Here we go. Let's check out this one. Run, Run, Run by the Velvet Underground. I like the sound of the guitars. The mix is definitely strange.
Teenage Mary said to Uncle Dave, I sold my soul, must be saved. Gonna take a walk down Union Square. You never know where you're gonna find there. You gotta run, 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 run. Take the jacket too. Run, 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 run. Gypsy death in you. Hey, what to do?
This is the most bluesy sounding track of theirs. Bass line, guitar, rhythm guitar.
Margarita Passion, they had to get her fixed. She wasn't well, she was getting sick. Went to sell her soul, she wasn't high. Didn't know, think she could buy it. She would run, 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 run.
Okay, this is the most bluesy sounding song of theirs that I've heard so far. And it's not bluesy in the way like maybe a Led Zeppelin track is, where they took the blues and it sounded like electric blues. They built so much over the top of it. This sounds like an old blues recording, like the stuff that I heard about from Robert Johnson. Even in the sort of subject matter, the dire kind of subject matter that Robert Johnson would cover in Crossroads about selling his soul and a girl leaving him. Same thing is here. I sold my soul, must be saved. So they must be, I'm guessing, taking inspiration from those songs. There seems to be two characters introduced. Both of them look like they're trying to buy drugs once again. So it's like an undercurrent of society looked at. Teenage Mary said to Uncle Dave, which makes it a strange relationship already between the two of them. And then Run, 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 Gypsy Death and You, Tell You What You Do. Then they talk about Margarita Passion, who must be another character, right? I had to get her fix. She wasn't well, she was getting sick. Went to sell her soul, she wasn't high. That was a good line.
Run, run, take the jacket too.
A drag or two, okay.
Run, 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 gypsy death in you. Tell you what to do.
Whoa, the mix is crazy. So I'm thinking that they purposefully did the mix like this. This is the most like sort of up-to-date and fresh version. I was just checking to make sure I didn't choose a bad version of this. So it's done on purpose. The other mixes weren't like this. Again, I think it's like a recreation of like those old blues recordings, which sounded like weird, like microphones couldn't quite catch some of the pieces and stuff. Again, musically, I don't always love the track, but they're always very interesting. It's something to take away from it. It's unique as hell, man.
C6 Sarah had a golden nose, hobnail boots wrapped around her toes. When she turned blue, all the angels screamed. They didn't know, they couldn't make her sing. She had to run, 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 take a jacket too.
It's funny, it sounds like a children's rhyme.
Run, 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 gypsy death in you.
What's about
Tell you what to
heroin?
do.
distortion isn't even the right word. It's like fuzzy.
Beardless Harry, what a waste. Couldn't even get, say, small town taste. Rode the trolleys down to 47. Biggie Big was good. He get himself to heaven, cause that run, 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 run. Take a deck or two. Run, 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 run. Gypsy death in you. Tell you what to do.
It was like a scene from a film, man. Like Pulp Fiction or something. These characters intertwining with each other. Okay, let's discuss the people in this story, or maybe like the overarching people who he's discussed in this thing. So it's 4 different people who seem to be all. The one thing that unites them all is that they're heroin users or drug takers. I'm thinking it's heroin. He's not, when he's talking about a fix, I don't think it's the dragging, right? The dragging isn't of a weed. You can drag a joint. I think he's talking about obviously taking heroin, which is a theme that runs throughout, even from the very first track on the album. I think it was called Something Sunday. It's very like mellowed out kind of high after a night of partying. But the 4 members all come from different points or places of life, I think. But their uniting factor is that they take the drug. So teenage Mary is running away from an uncle, is what I took away from this. Maybe the uncle and Mary have a strange relationship, and therefore she takes drugs. Margarita Passion, I couldn't quite understand what her deal was. I think she's just a working girl. I mean, I don't think they're talking about the pizza here, but regardless. Then there was T6 Sarah, had a golden nose. I thought she came from like the upper class of the world, because the idea of a golden nose, and when she turned blue, all the angels screamed. So I didn't take it as like actual angels, but like the angelic people around her wouldn't suspect her to be taking heroin, but she is. Hobnail boots wrapped around her toes, right? Hobnail boots. I'm gonna take a guess here. I'm not exactly sure, but this is like a description of like fancy boots. They didn't know, they couldn't make the scene, so they didn't understand why she was taking the drugs. And then lastly, you have Beardless Harry, who is a homeless person, is what I took about it. What a waste, couldn't even get a small town taste. Rode the trolleys down to 47th, so he rode the trolleys, so he rode the train down to 47th. Figured he was good to get himself to heaven, so I took this guy as a homeless person. So 4 different people. I couldn't quite figure out Margarita Passion. You guys let me know who she is. She wasn't well, she was getting sick. Okay, so she must be a poorly person, someone who's like sick and who's taking the drug to like maybe help her sickness. Really interesting. Again, it's almost like an independent movie, or like maybe like a David Lynch film or something like that. It's strange, it's weird. Venus in Furs was really an odd track, but I liked how strange it was. Same thing here. The mix is really bad, man. It's just not very good. The sound doesn't come through well. And the guitar playing, although interesting, a little bit repetitive. And that's not kind of the point of these tracks. They're supposed to be kind of rough and raw. And you can almost see like this influencing a band like Nirvana, maybe, in the sense that it's like very to the point musically. In a music sense, I think Nirvana kept things very simplistic on purpose. Regardless, again, another interesting track, man. Probably the best way to experience this thing was in order. I've done this in a strange way where I'm kind of listening to a track every week or so. But I feel like the effect is still working. I like this album, man. It's different. It's strange as fuck, but I like it. Thumbs up.